Now, from the area's leader in live local news, this is WYLN News, the area's #1 source of live local news and information in Luzerne, Schuylkill, Carbon, and Columbia counties. WYLN News starts now.
Good evening, and thank you for joining us on WYLN News. I'm Preston Endress. A former Penn State wide receiver has been charged with homicide by vehicle after an ATV crashed in May. Julian Fleming played for Penn State last season after transferring from Ohio State. On May 23rd of 2025, he crashed an ATV in Columbia Township. Fleming was seriously injured in the crash, and 23-year-old Elisa Boyd was pronounced dead at the scene. Initial reports stated that a deer entering the road led to the crash, but investigators later discovered that Fleming was under the influence of alcohol at the time. He and Boyd were also not wearing safety equipment. State police charged Fleming on Tuesday with homicide by vehicle while DUI, aggravated assault by vehicle while driving under the influence, along with many other offenses. The Luzerne County Bureau of Elections has discovered an error in the state's voter registration system that has led to 31 voters receiving duplicate mail-in ballots. Officials explained that the issue was tied to Pennsylvania's statewide Uniform Registry of Electors system, which tracks and updates voter information across all 67 counties. The county says the problem only affected a fraction of the 25,000 ballots mailed out last week. After discovering the mistake, the elections office contacted those voters and canceled the extra ballots before any were processed. Officials say safeguards are in place to ensure that only one ballot per voter will be counted. The county is also working with the Pennsylvania Department of State to determine what caused the system to generate the duplicate ballots. Butler Township Police have arrested a drumsman in connection with an assault reported Monday afternoon. Investigators say 36-year-old Joshua T. Yencho is accused of attacking a 35-year-old woman who was found with visible injuries to her eye and other bruises. Yencho faces charges of simple assault and possession of drug paraphernalia. He was arraigned before Magisterial District Judge Brian J. Tupper and is being held at the Luzerne County Correctional Facility on a $500 bail. A Pennsylvania lawmaker is moving to introduce legislation that would create a new alert system for missing children with autism. State Representative Robert Leadbeater is proposing what's being called a Purple Alert, which would send a photo, description, and last known location of a missing child to both law enforcement and the public. The system would function much like existing Amber, Green, and Silver alerts. This comes just days after the death of 7-year-old Aiden Ha, who went missing and was later found dead in the Susquehanna River. This proposal, also known as Aiden's Law, could provide a critical tool to help first responders and communities locate vulnerable children more quickly. Similar alert systems are already in place in several other states. It is an unfortunate time for school districts across Pennsylvania. Schools are missing out on millions in state funding, as the Pennsylvania budget impasse has denied a huge amount for public school state payments since July. A delay like this could very well negatively affect many school systems regarding the staff and the students. The impasse is also a big problem for thousands of college students in Pennsylvania, as the Commonwealth's biggest need-based financial aid provider is the PA State Grant Program. At least 100 J.P. McCaskey High School students walked out of their building in protest recently and demanded lawmakers to pass the budget. Actions like this prove the consequences of educational financial strain very likely, as they lead to an amount of uncertainty and student protests. A company is relocating from New York to Luzerne County. Governor Josh Shapiro announced a new $10.5 million investment from MintX, a trash bag manufacturing company from Queens, New York. MintX will be relocating to 33 Powell Avenue in Hazleton, where it will create at least 101 full-time jobs over the next 3 years. A 15-year lease has been signed that allows the company to ramp up production and expand its product line. Their move is supported by a funding proposal from the Pennsylvania Department of Community and Economic Development, with the addition of a $300,000 PA First Grant and a $1.59 million PA Industrial Development Authority loan. MintX's CEO Jeff Dussich says the decision followed an extensive search for the ideal location, and Hazleton is the perfect place for its strong labor and location near the intersection of I-80 and I-81. MintX manufactures and distributes the world's only EPA-registered and patented rodent-repellent trash bags, which are sold under its own brand and as a private label solutions for major retailers. Coming up on WYLN News, a popular restaurant chain has filed for bankruptcy. Officials want you to know what to do with those unused gift cards. Plus, Pennsylvania lawmakers have put forth a bill to help striking workers. But first, we'll take a look at our 5-day forecast brought to you by the Wyln Weather Kids. We'll be right back.
Brought to you by Lehigh Valley Health Network, part of Jefferson Health. If you were saved by the bell and made epic mixtapes, it's time for a mammogram. Screenings help find breast cancer early when it's more treatable. Schedule today at lvhn.org/mammo.
Hi, my name is Maya, and I am 8 years old, and tomorrow the weather will be very sunny.
We want your child to be our WYLN Weather Kid. Your child can be our feature weather reporter of the day on WYLN News and WYLN social media posts just by using your smartphone or any video recording device. It's easy. All ages are welcome, from toddlers to teens. To find out how, go to the weather section of WYLNTV.com or look for our post about it on the WYLN News Facebook page. Submit your Weather Kid video today.
And you will love the feel-good feeling you get when you shop at Grand Central in Nescopeck and Hazleton. You will enjoy a no-pressure professional sales staff, experienced delivery crew, service after the sale,
and don't forget, everyday low prices.
No matter what you're shopping for in your home, we have you covered with top brand names like Flex Steel, Lazy Boy, England, and Dillon Custom Rugs.
With our enormous selection and the flexibility to finance interest-free for up to 60 months, Grand Central makes it easy to make your house a home.
If you're looking for an affordable pre-owned car or truck, Cheers Auto Sales has a great lineup of clean, dependable, and quality vehicles. Stop in at 610 North Broad Street in West Hazleton, 570-454-7229. Cheers is proud to be celebrating 70 years in business.
In this week's episode of Let's Talk Chiropractic, we're going to have a guest, Claudine Gallagher, and we're going to discuss how this whole thing works.
Come shoot at Whitetail Preserve, 118 Boulevard Road in Bloomsburg. Their skeet, trap, and sporting clay fields are professionally designed, and all stations are handicapped accessible. Whitetail Preserve has resident shooting instructors certified by the NRA in shotgun, rifle, pistol, home safety, and personal protection in the home. Whitetail can also cater any size event, whether it be a private party, corporate event, or wedding. Call 570-384-2314 or 570-790-8969.
Welcome back to WYLN News. Striking workers may be eligible to receive unemployment compensation in the future. On Tuesday, October 7th, the Pennsylvania State House passed a bill that, if signed into law, would allow striking workers to collect unemployment benefits. It would also strike out language in existing law stating that workers who are out of work due to a labor dispute are only eligible for benefits if they aren't members of an organization participating in the dispute and have no direct interest in the outcome. This clause effectively prevents union members from collecting unemployment pay, leaving many striking union workers unable to pay for their basic needs during contract negotiations. The bill will now go into the state Senate, and if it passes a vote there, it will be up to Governor Josh Shapiro to sign it into law. There is a new accommodation in Pennsylvania state parks that will give you a chance to enjoy the outdoors in comfort and style. The Pennsylvania Department of Conservation and Natural Resources, the DCNR, announced that they will add 61 glamping sites across 8 state parks throughout the Commonwealth. One of those parks will be Hickory Run State Park in Whitehaven. Glamping, short for glamorous camping, combines the camping experience with modern amenities like comfortable beds, electricity, and climate control. Online reservations are now open for spring 2026 at timberlinecamping.com. The popular restaurant chain Iron Hill Brewery has filed for bankruptcy and has closed all of its locations. 10 of those were in Pennsylvania. The Pennsylvania Attorney General Dave Sunday is advising those who have unused gift cards and rewards what they can do to get their money back. First, the Attorney General says that you should report those cards to your credit card company and dispute the charges made to purchase them. If you are unable to get a refund for the cards through your credit card company, you should file a complaint with the Office of the Attorney General's Bureau of Consumer Protection at www.attorneygeneral.gov or call 717-787-3391. Attorney General Sunday says his office will continue to monitor the closing's impact on behalf of consumers. The Luzerne County Community College will be hosting their 33rd annual Pennsylvania History Conference called Abolitionism in Pennsylvania. The event will explore the Commonwealth's rich abolitionist history from early anti-slavery to key figures and events that shaped the fight for freedom. The event will feature presentations by the Luzerne County Community College faculty and regional historians discussing PA's central role in the fight to end slavery and secure human rights. This is a free event and is open to the public on Monday, October 13th from 9 o'clock a.m. to 2 o'clock p.m. at the Luzerne County Community College Educational Conference Center, 1333 South Prospect Street in Nanticoke. For more information, contact 1-800-377-LCCC, extension 7437. A way for people to connect to their lost loved ones has been vandalized. Tara Yamelski shared on Facebook Monday night photos of her damaged Wyln phone, dedicated less than a month ago on the Back Mountain Trail of Dallas. The Wyln phone is a way to handle grief, allowing people to call lost loved ones. The community is in mourning after the vandalization, but are also coming together and hoping that it can be rebuilt and reinstated. Many on Facebook ask what they can do to contribute to repairs. Coming up on Freeland's News Choice, it's Breast Cancer Awareness Month and Lisa Marie has a special guest to talk about getting treatment. Plus, Wyln historian Chris Fulmer leads us down the path through history with Ashland Part 3. And stay right here on Wyln. We'll be right back.
For a better customer experience, visit Fairway Subaru in Hazleton. Fairway Subaru has been providing generations of customers with Subarus. With exceptional customer service they've come to expect. Check out our selection in person or at fairwaysubaru.com. Fairway Subaru, the right car, the right price, the right dealer.
When you bundle home and auto, life can be easier. You choose coverage that makes sense for you, at a price that's right for you, and a local State Farm agent who's there for you.
Call State Farm agent Pete Casalicka in the greater Hazleton area today.
Do you like craft beer? Do you want to learn the right way to sample wine? How about checking out a restaurant with a unique flavor or a crazy food challenge? These are just some of the things we are featuring on Wine, Hops, and Road Stops. So, spend some time learning about great wine, great beer, and great food on WYLN TV 35.
Hi, welcome to Wellness Wednesday. I'm Lisa Marie, and I want to give you some information that I feel is so important, not just because it's October and it's Breast Cancer Awareness Month, but because it's so important we get this message out. You know, according to the American Cancer Society, breast cancer is the most common cancer in women in the United States, except for skin cancers. It accounts for about 30%, or 1 in 3, of all new female cancers each year. How about these statistics? About 316,950 new cases of invasive breast cancer will be diagnosed in women this year. Approximately 42,170 women will die from breast cancer. You know, the other day, I had someone reach out to me who's very close to me, and they're in their 70s, and they shared with me that they had breast cancer. And I was actually elated, and not for the reasons you think, because she had breast cancer, but because it was only stage 1. And I know we impress upon people so much the importance of screening, and that's one of the reasons we're here today, is to emphasize that, but also to tell you about some treatments that are targeting cancers in a better way for our patients. And with me is Dr. Robert Decker, who is with our hematology oncology here at our beautiful cancer center right on the campus of the hospital. Dr. Decker, tell us a little bit about your background.
Sure, yeah. Hi, so I'm Dr. Robert Decker here at the Lehigh Valley Topper Cancer Institute in Hazleton. I am a board-certified hematologist and medical oncologist. I'm actually from Northeast Pennsylvania. I was born and raised in Scranton, Pennsylvania. Completed my undergraduate education at the University of Scranton, and then went to medical school at the Commonwealth Medical College in Scranton as well. And then I moved to Allentown for my training, so where I completed an internal medicine residency at Lehigh Valley Health Network for 3 years, followed by a 3-year fellowship in hematology and medical oncology at Lehigh Valley as well. And then wanting to stay at Lehigh Valley Hospital, I ended up working here in Hazleton. So that's a little bit about me. And then I've been here in practice since what now, 2022? Yeah, wow, it's crazy. It goes by very quickly. Yeah.
Awesome. So doctor, we're going to talk about, I mean, of course, the importance of screening. Do you have anything to emphasize about that?
Sure, yeah. So like I tell, pretty much all of my patients, screening is really the most important thing that we can do for ourselves, because breast cancer, when it is caught early, and by early I mean stage 1, 2, or 3, before it is spread, to other organs or to the bones, things like that, it's still considered curable. So as long as it's limited to the breast and the lymph nodes in the armpit, we're able to treat those people with medication, sometimes chemotherapy, and surgery and radiation, and we're able to cure them and they go on with the rest of their lives. But once you have moved beyond that, once you have cancer that's spread beyond that, then we're looking at lifelong treatment, where you're going to be seeing me every few weeks for the rest of your life and on some type of treatment for breast cancer, and eventually probably will die from it, unfortunately. And that's why screening is so important, because we're able to catch these things before they become a problem. And really more so even than that, we've gotten away from breast self-exams, but really just breast awareness and being aware that like, oh, this doesn't feel like it used to, and maybe it's something that I should bring to my doctor's attention at the next visit. Definitely is just really important. And just listening to the way that your body feels. If you feel like something is off, are you doing all of the things that you need to be to try to catch these things early?
So let's tell the audience about ADCs and how they help not just breast cancer, but various cancers, correct?
Yeah, sure. So ADCs, or antibody drug conjugates, they are an exciting new class of medication that we use in the treatment of cancers. Originally they were developed primarily for breast cancer, in particular ones that express a protein called HER2. Basically what they've done is they've taken a toxic chemotherapy drug, chemotherapy drugs that previously we weren't even using because the doses that would be needed to treat the cancer were very dangerous to give because of various side effects and things like that. So they've taken these toxic drugs and they link them to an antibody. So basically they are making this chemotherapy be delivered directly to the cancer cells, right? So we're looking at proteins that are expressed only on the cancer cells, and these antibodies are directed towards them, so that we're directing these very toxic medications directly to the cancer. So we're able to limit the side effect while delivering a very effective treatment.
That is, I think, a big relief for many of your patients, of course.
Oh, sure.
you know, you've been doing this for quite a few years. Your colleagues that you're on these tumor boards with, you know, the whole Lehigh Valley Topper Cancer Institute itself has so many resources. What can you possibly say about breast cancer now than maybe 10 years ago or 20 years ago? You know, with these new treatments, what is it that we have more hope for?
Well, I think that the most amazing thing is that there are more drugs being approved, you know, per month for breast cancer than we previously had like per decade. And so the number of different treatment options available is just staggering. And so that's very, very hopeful for the future. And we're always working to get better medications and ones that cause less side effects and give people the best quality of life.
Dr. Decker, thank you so much for your insight. Thank you so much for caring for our patients. I have to tell you, I can't tell you how many people out in the community that have been in to see you and your colleagues here, that the experience of care is just amazing. So thank you, and please get screened. It's that important. Thank you for watching Wellness Wednesday.
It's cold out there. Call S.J. Kowalski for the best products and solutions to help lower your energy costs and keep your family safe and comfortable this winter. Our professional team has unparalleled experience with all the latest innovative types of heating systems. We're a Lennox Premier dealer, installing high-quality equipment, providing the ultimate experience in comfort and climate control while being energy efficient. S.J. Kowalski, heating and cooling the way the earth intended.
Come shoot at Whitetail Preserve, 118 Boulevard Road in Bloomsburg. Their skeet, trap, and sporting clay fields are professionally designed, and all stations are handicap accessible. Whitetail Preserve has resident shooting instructors certified by the NRA in shotgun, rifle, pistol, home safety, and personal protection in the home. Whitetail can also cater any size event, whether it be a private party, corporate event, or wedding. Call 570-384-2314 or 570-790-8969.
Something is out there. What it is, no one knows. However, since its first sighting, there have been numerous reports of strange lights in the night sky. Some say they are extraterrestrials, flying saucers. But to all of those seemingly unrelated uncertainties, there is one common thread.
Solo Spaceman. Watch Solo Spaceman on WYLN Thursdays at 1:30, Saturdays at 7, and Sundays at 4:30.
Hello, I'm WYLN historian Chris Fulmer. Pennsylvania's communities are filled with interesting history. Come with me as we discover the people, events, industries, and other historic facets of local towns.
My name is Maya, and I am 8 years old, and tomorrow the weather will be very sunny.
In the last decade of the 19th century, America was hit by the Panic of 1893, triggered in part when silver and railroad bubbles that had been building across the nation burst. Its effects would last through 1897, and in Pennsylvania, unemployment would ultimately reach 25% during the worst stretches. In the Ashland area, this would be acutely felt when the Philadelphia and Reading Railroad filed for bankruptcy and numerous mines closed. Left with no other choices, Ashlanders spread across the nation and state to look for better opportunities. By 1900, the town had lost roughly 2,500 residents. Many of them, however, remembered their days in the coal region well and pined to return someday. And a seed was planted in 1900 when several former residents of the town met at a state convention in Shamokin. Remembering the good times they'd had in Ashland in their younger years, they thought it would be a good idea to give former Ashland residents a reason to come back home. They subsequently formed the Ashland Boys Association, open to any former resident of the town regardless of ethnicity or social standing. Beginning in the next few years, and continuing for decades to come, members of the ABA would return home to Ashland the Saturday before Labor Day for a grand celebration. In 1910, another facet of this homecoming was added, courtesy of the ABA's Philadelphia branch. When they arrived in town that year, they were greeted by an impromptu parade, including such participants as the local American Hose Company, Centralia Band, Knights of the Golden Eagle, and Washington Light Infantry. From this grand greeting grew the tradition of a mummers parade through town on the Saturday before Labor Day, which continued for many years even after the Ashland Boys Association's 1976 disbandment. Later, during the Great Depression, the ABA gave back to Ashland with a grand monument. The group's motto was, "Come on home," and for many members, home reminded them strongly of their mothers. Thus, at the group's 1933 reunion, it was proposed to build a memorial to honor all the town's mothers. Despite some members arguing for the ABA to give money for a library, instead the monument won out. $6,000 was raised by the organization for the monument, which ultimately be designed by Emil Seaburn and sculptor Julius Loester. For their inspiration, the artists used James McNeill Whistler's painting and arrangement in gray and black No. 1, popularly known as Whistler's Mother. Works Progress Administration funding gave the stonework for the statue, which was dedicated on September 4, 1938 during the annual Labor Day festivities. Today, the Mother's Memorial still stands downtown, continuing its mission to honor mothers both in Ashland and around the world for all they do for their children. In the meantime, trolley lines reached into Ashland at the turn of the 20th century, as they did across much of the nation. The Schuylkill Traction Company in 1889 built a trolley line that stretched from Ashland to Monomoy City, with stops along the way in Girardville and Gilberton. Many trolley lines at the time would build an amusement park or picnic grove at the end of the line to entice riders to take a full trip. In Ashland, this led to the opening of Woodland Park in 1892. The park featured an open-air theater, dance hall, and skating rink, and proved quite popular for a time as a weekend getaway for area residents. Silent movies would be shown frequently at the park's theater, and vaudeville shows and local bands would also perform there. The end of trolley service in 1929, with buses replacing the Schuylkill Traction Company's trolleys, would also spell the end of Woodland Park. It was at this time, however, that another amusement complex rose to take its place. Harvey and Alice Beery had purchased land from Harvey's parents for farming around the beginning of the century. Buckhorn Creek flowed through the property, and it occurred to the Beerys that it could be dammed to make an impressive lake. In 1920, the family did so, and 3 years later, with the lake fully formed, the summer resort known as Beery's Grove opened to the public. For $10 admission, guests could swim in the Beery's Lake, as well as go boating, or fishing, or ice skating in the winter. Cabins sprang up along the lake as well. A dance hall and band shell would also appear at the lake, as did amusements such as a carousel, a shooting gallery, and a train ride. A horse riding academy would also grace the property, and ice harvesting would take place on the lake over the winters. The Beerys sold the property in 1957, and the owners changed the name to Mountain Valley Lake. Increased competition from nearby Knoebels Amusement Resort would lead to the lake's closure in 1974. After a decade trying to sell it, it was repurchased and repackaged as a private housing development, today known as the Moon Lake Association. Breweries had taken root throughout the Anthracite region in the late 1800s. Although Ashland would be comparatively late getting into the local beer game, it would be the home of the Schuylkill Home Brewing Company beginning in 1911. The brewery's name would be changed in 1915 to its more familiar title of the Ashland Brewing Company. Prohibition shut the brewery down in 1920. It would reopen in 1934, selling brands such as ABC Porter and Schuylkill Heim Beer before closing for good in 1940.
And I am 8 years old, and tomorrow the weather will be very sunny.
You're watching WYLN TV 35.